Wizards of the Coast, you should be ashamed because this should not be a Magic card. There's a new set coming out. It's Avatar, The Last Airbender, and I'm really excited for it. It looks like it's going to be a super fun set. I'm a fan of Avatar, maybe you could tell, but there's something weird about the set, and it's the bonus sheet. For the bonus sheet, they decided to put a card for every single episode of Avatar, The Last Airbender. Okay, that's like a pretty cool idea, except they're using screenshots from the show that are not touched up, oddly cropped, kind of illegible, kind of a mix on flavor, and sometimes the colors make no sense. These are all reprints, and they're Commander reprints, because Commander players are kind of the driving force of Magic the Gathering right now, which is true. I'm a Commander player. I buy most of my singles to play Commander, and part of that is because Standard is, let's say, not in the best place, but this is a set coming out into Standard, and this bonus sheet is not Standard legal. It is only going to be reprints already legal where they're legal, with the exception of course, Magic the Gathering Arena, where they're going to be coming for the first time. So all of these screenshots are kind of blurry. A lot of you are going to notice that. Some of them are kind of ugly, and some of them just have blatantly weird choices for the scenes, for the art. We've got cards like Cruel Tutor. Why not use a different scene for Cruel Tutor, like the one that somebody on Reddit had picked out? Why go with one piece per episode? Well, I can actually tell you that. It's because it makes it a collectible item that you can have a set completion of that has a reason to complete it. Unlike the Final Fantasy bonus sheet, which were pictures from across different Final Fantasies, they were all screenshots, they were promo art. We have a bunch of them here. There was no major theme collecting them together other than kind of Commander staples with existing art. And this was actually, to me, the worst part of the Final Fantasy set. I think Final Fantasy is possibly the best set of 2025. I loved it. It was great to draft, but the bonus sheet was kind of dumb. And part of that was because some of the screenshots are really neat. Some of them actually use art that was like painted. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus on this. Come on, camera. Look at the man. There we go. We got Minwoo here. We've got like art that was actually painted and meant to be there. We have some things I don't agree with as much. This is the Nature's Claim. Come on, focus, camera, focus. Nature's Claim. This is sprite work from the game. But then we also have some screenshots and renders, which are kind of like the Avatar set in that they're a little blurry and kind of ugly. This is from Final Fantasy X, and you can kind of see on the camera, this one's medium crisp. The Anala, I think, is the worst one because that was Final Fantasy IX. It's Kuja in the art. They're not great. They're kind of medium quality. And on a lot of them, they're really hard to read. And this is something that's also a problem with the Avatar set. They've decided to move towards this look where there's borderless, it is frameless, and it has no distinct text boxes, which is really rough if you're like me and you actually want to read your cards. Yeah, this is Van or Captain Lannery Storm, but you wouldn't be able to like read it at a distance. You'd just be like, oh sweet, there's a Banga in the art. I love Banga. They're my favorite Final Fantasy creature. Final Fantasy Tactics Advance forever. I never played 12. I just like Advance. But there's this like weird inconsistency, and you're wondering like, why do they do this borderless style, this frameless style? And they started doing it on the anime alt arts, the Japanese guest artists, because this is what a lot of Japanese trading card games look like. This is what the cards look like in those games, and they're kind of emulating that to be like, yeah, the collectors of those games will see this and be interested, disregarding the fact that many of those trading card games fail, flop, and are pretty much just purchased by collectors. So you've got like the Final Fantasy trading card game. Did you know they're still making that? And some of them have the exact same art that's on these cards. Yeah, they are. Good luck finding somebody who plays it. Or go back a couple years to the Full Metal Alchemist trading card game that actually had cards that look a ton like this with kind of blurry screenshots being printed onto card with hard to read text. Yes, there's a weird trend among specifically Japanese trading card games, to reuse art assets and turn them more into collectibles than playing cards, which there's a lot of collectors out there. I bet there's some people watching this right now who they buy some cards maybe to play with, but they mostly just buy sealed product to open, trade, or hold on to as a investment. I know that you're out there. I'm not one of you, but I know you're out there. I think that there's a big disconnect, though, between the players and collectors when it comes to a lot of these art treatments, because unless they're high quality, it devalues things for everyone. That's where we can all agree. I think that the Avatar set is going to be made less desirable by the existence of this, of whatever this is, of this cruel tutor, of the Zuko redeemed, who is Reese. Yeah, why, if you want to put Reese on the bonus sheet, why not make it Iroh? He gathers an army, like Reese. Zuko's never going to be green-white. That's like, I love Zuko. He's my second favorite character. He's not green-white, and he never should be green-white. But we also have cards that are just like, they look bad. They look bad as cards. They're the wrong choice. The colors don't match. And this was also a thing in the Final Fantasy one where the colors of the art did not match the colors of the card, which is a big part of readability for Magic the Gathering. Look at Blasphemous Act. Blasphemous Act is Aang. He's very upset and he's very blurry and hazy. And they could have used another screenshot of the same, the thing he's reacting to here, which is Yatu's corpse. The fact that the Fire Nation had wiped out the Airbenders, they had committed a genocide, which is a blasphemous act. There's other blasphemous acts, I would say, that if you really want to put this Commander staple in, you could consider for the art, like them at the finale when they're literally like world firing everything in the airships. That's a blasphemous act. That's red. That's fire. That makes sense to me. But that's not what they chose to do. Instead, they chose to do this. And some of these cards look okay. Some of them have much better framing than others. Some of them do feel like kind of nicely designed cards. But the card image quality is the same among all of them, which is to say it's not that crisp. Avatar: The Last Airbender, if you did not watch it when it came out, or maybe you watched it a little later on Netflix, was designed for CRT televisions. Hey guys, guess what TV I had in 2005? It was a CRT. It was in the kitchen of my family's home, and we watched cartoons on it. It was great. I love watching cartoons on that thing. But they were not HD. We did not have an HD TV until after I got out of college. And like even then, we were starting to get into the smartphone era, and we had YouTube around and everything like that. Everybody's watching clips, but they never remastered Avatar from the artwork. They never took the scans of Avatar, like the actual frames and the digital work on it, and redid it. That is something that very few shows ever do. I think Star Trek Next Generation is actually one of the few ones that has done that, and it looks great. I'm so happy they did it, but it was really expensive and it was a lot of work. Yeah, like Avatar was made for 4:3. Look at me, I'm filming in widescreen because this is the modern age where all of our screens are like this, and yet people still hold them like this sometimes. I really wish we would move away from that. I believe that like we should never be filming like this. Always like this. Always. Forever. But yeah, it was not designed for HD. You're getting that point, right? But they could touch it up or repaint it to make it crisper. I bet a lot of you purchased the SpongeBob Secret Lair because it was funny and has SpongeBob, another Nickelodeon property. Now, the SpongeBob Secret Lair does look like screenshots of the memes, but it's not. Tyler Walpole, who's, as far as I know, a pretty cool guy, actually repainted all of those. You look at the brush strokes on Days and you're like, oh dang, that's actually a painting of like Mr. Krabs. That's crazy. But yeah, so we know they could have done it. Or if Nickelodeon would agree to it, they could just kind of touch them up digitally. They could crisp over the lines, they could redo the edging. It was animated. Somebody out there could do that. And I'm not saying like, oh, use an AI sharpening tool. No, I'm saying like, have somebody go over the cards and work on them. because they're artists and this is work that they are trained to do. We could do this. It would be nice. It would be very nice. But they didn't. So now we're going to be having what I believe is going to be worse looking than the Final Fantasy bonus sheet in the avatar packs that all of us are going to get. And I keep saying they're commander staples. That's actually not a way I should describe it. Many of these cards are commander staples, but some of them are banned in Commander. Like Dockside Extortionist, as pictured here. Now, Dockside Extortionist, this is one of the medium ones for me art-wise, was banned alongside a bunch of other cards. Jeweled Lotus and Nadu, and all of those were banned in Commander. It actually caused a huge, outpouring of discontent. These people who had invested in cards saying, oh no, my expensive cards are no longer legal. And they sent threats to the Commander Rules Committee, and they had to have Wizards of the Coast take over the Commander Rules Committee, and it was a whole kerfuffle. It was terrible. Anyway, Dockside was one of those banned cards. It was very expensive. Very, 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 very expensive. And now it's not as much because it's banned there, and that's the only place that it would ever see play. Dockside Extortionist is a very good card. It's going to be coming to Brawl, by the way. And if you're wondering about why is it in the set if it was banned? Well, maybe they're gonna unban it. I don't think so. Maybe they printed it here because they didn't know it was banned when they chose this as the art. Now, there's a 1.5 year turnaround from a set's card design to you getting the product, because they have to send it to approvals, then it has to go to printing and everything like that. So it's possible that this was actually designed and set in stone before the ban happened. The timing's a little off on that. I don't think that's quite right, but it is possible. We're also going to be getting these cards added to Arena, so it's possible they added this into the bonus sheet to put it into Timeless and Historic and Brawl. Yes, the format I play, Brawl, where now we're going to have access to a lot of cards we didn't before. Blasphemous Act, Dockside Extortionist, and we're only going to have access to them with this art. What? So this happened with Final Fantasy II. There are some cards that are in Arena, like Thrazios, that are only available with the Universes Beyond art. What? So when I play against those cards in Arena, I can't see any other version of it. It's always going to be those ones, which, cursed forever. Maybe they'll add the alt arts at some point in, but because these are draftable cards, they have to be added to Arena because they decided to make all the Universes Beyond sets standard legal, which means that they have to be in Arena because that's where a lot of people play standard, which means that they have to be draftable on Arena, which means that even the cards that aren't legal in standard are also being printed in the boosters, have to be draftable, and we have them in the other formats. You combine that with the other weird cards they've been adding into digital through anthologies, the cube. There's been all sorts of weird things added to Arena recently. Did you guys know that they put Academy Manufactor in? I know, because I re-recorded my Lonus deck because of it. Yay! Game objects! I love game objects, but what I don't love is looking at some of these. I don't like looking at some of these. And I think that this is it feels like bad proxies. It feels like Wizards of the Coast has decided to take fan-chosen pictures, put them in a bad frame, and put them in the show. Now, how would I fix this while maintaining the one card per episode and we have to do Commander staples? Okay, fine. I would make it so they have a frame. I would give it an original frame, perhaps one that looks kind of like this map and has the nice boxed edging around it. That could look pretty nice. I would like it. But Wizards of the Coast didn't choose to do that. They keep doing these weird Japanese trading card style borderless cards for collectors, except then they make the cards ugly, which means collectors probably won't like them as much. But you know there's going to be people out there trying to get one of every card from this bonus sheet and arranging them in a frame because that's a cool idea. I understand it. People did that with like the Transformers bonus sheet. There's a great example of somebody who framed it with like the Decepticons on one side and the Autobots on the other, and you have like Jetfire in the middle, and it was a really cool way to present a bonus sheet. But those looked good, and this doesn't look good. They did a frame kind of like this in the set. Like there are multiple alt arts. There's also, by the way, frameless, textless cards in the set, which I have other gripes with. Guys, if I can't read the card, I can't explain the card. So we have those, but at least in paper, you won't have to see too many of them, which means that they're going to be very hard to find, because I believe in collector boosters, you'll find them pretty often. But in set boosters, it's only 1 in 20 or so packs is going to have one of these bonus sheet cards. So you won't have to see them that often, but if you do actually want to collect them, good luck. Yeah, the art quality, the choice of the cards, the scene choice, not upscaling it. There's so many things going wrong all at the same time here. And it stinks to say, it's like the cards that are going to see the most play from this set are going to have the worst art, because they're Commander staples. They're the cards that people play in all the decks in Commander. And Commander is probably the most played format right now, because it's what they've been pushing. It used to be like kitchen table Magic. I think they've kind of made kitchen table Magic not really count in those surveys anymore, because Commander makes more money because they can sell precons for it and starter kits and yeah. Well, Avatar: The Last Airbender, we haven't seen the whole set yet, and I'm still hoping that it is going to be like a banger. What I've seen so far, a lot of cards are super flavorful. They feature characters I really like. A lot of the art is fantastic. And they commissioned beautiful paintings of characters I love, like Azula. I really look forward to playing this card. She does crime. And she's a bad girl. Like me. Okay, she's a lot badder than me. She's like extremely evil and kind of crazy, but like, we stan a queen. Or a princess. At least I do. So hopefully Wizards of the Coast moves away from doing IP slop, because they know we don't like it. In fact, Mark Rosewater has acknowledged that the Final Fantasy bonus sheet was not that well received for its choice of using screenshots from games. But it takes a while for that feedback to then be incorporated into future sets. Usually, as I said before, it's like 1.5 to 2 years before any changes happen. Unfortunately, we are going into the era of universes beyond. So does that mean that we're going to be getting probably not cartoon and comic screenshots for TMNT, but maybe? We're getting Star Trek next year? Are they just going to put screenshots from the show like they had on the trading cards? I have some Deep Space Nine trading cards behind the screen. I'm a Star Trek nerd, too. They're really just like after my wallet specifically. Do you ever feel like Wizards of the Coast is going for you, and you in particular, whenever they release these like Universes Beyond and Secret Lair things where they're like, hey, we know what you like. And I'm like, are you looking at my browser history? Because you're making me really uncomfortable with this. Please don't look at my Garrick and Bashir fan art, because it's mine and you can't have it. Yeah, they've been buying my cookies this whole time. So we don't know. We don't know how long it's going to take for them to stop doing this, or if they'll stop doing this, or if they're just going to keep producing IP slop, which is low effort, preying on people's love of a thing, and not actually making something worth buying. So Wizards of the Coast, please don't do this again. It's lazy, it's ugly, and it's bad.